When you're king or queen of the mountain, everyone wants to knock your ass off the top. And no one is getting a better lesson about this right now than Taylor Swift. Arguably the current queen of pop, 3 of her last 4 songs have hit #1 and the other one entered the top 10 on Billboard, and she's been taking shit left, right, and center. Nicki Minaj recently tweeted about her. She claims she wasn't, but no one's fucking fooled. Katy Perry jumped in on that too. Both these women know what it's like to be on top, and both know what it's like to have been on top and have to now look up at someone else ruling over them. And now, Miley Cyrus has decided to take her shot at her. In an interview for the magazine Marie Claire, people are still reading magazines, huh? Oh, okay. Anyway, Miley is reported as saying this about Taylor Swift's Bad Blood video. "I don't get the violence revenge thing. That's supposed to be a good example, and I'm a bad role model because I'm running around with my titties out? I'm not sure how titties are worse than guns." I can't believe I have to say the following 5 words, but Miley makes a good point. Tits never killed anyone. No one ever flashed a movie theater, resulting in several dead and injured. No one ever took off their shirt in a school and the sight of boobies murdered a bunch of kids. I mean, it'd create a bunch of stiffs, but not the dead kind. But Taylor Swift's been nominated for, and will likely win an award for, a music video that's part Quentin Tarantino, part Zack Snyder, featuring a bunch of celebrity cameos with increasingly ridiculous nicknames and weapons, getting ready to fight and I assume murder each other. You likely won't hear any parents claim Taylor Swift is awful and their kids shouldn't be listening to her now, but last year, parents were calling for Miley's tour to be shut down because she's doing a bunch of suggestive shit on stage. Society is afraid of sexuality. We live in a region of the world where parents let their kids watch violent cartoons when they're like 6, but don't want them learning sex ed in school until they're like 16. And even then, they want them to be taught to just not fuck. Which always works out really well, probably why the US has the highest teen birth rate in any developed nation. Now, the argument starts to fall apart that Taylor is as bad or worse than Miley when you're reminded that this is one 4-minute music video compared to everything Miley does. Her entire persona is now about drugs and sexuality, but let's not let silliness like context and perspective ruin a perfectly good argument. Why do we tolerate violence so much more than sex? Why do we glamorize war in film and television, dress violence up and make it seem really cool in action movies, and shun sex and nudity? Put a 14-year-old and their parents in a room, and have them watch a movie where 40 people get shot and killed to pretty well no reaction, probably even some smiles, and then show them a pair of tits on screen, and watch everyone squirm and feel weird. I'm not saying this will happen with every family, but I bet it will happen with a lot of families. And I don't think it's because we see real examples every day. I mean, if you shoot a person in front of the average 13-year-old kid, that kid'll still be fucked up for a long time. Just because they've seen thousands of deaths on TV doesn't mean they're gonna be like, "Hey, neat, just like in 22 Jump Street." But people often suggest that if sexuality was more prevalent in society, it would desensitize kids. Teenagers have probably seen a ton of sex, too. Remember, the internet exists. But they walk in on their parents fucking, and they're immediately wishing they could get that out of their head. But they can't now because they can name the position they just saw mommy in because, again, the internet. So, I don't know what the answer is to that problem. Luckily, it's not my job to come up with it. I just comment on it and say things about it that will make you laugh or think or call me a fucking douchebag, retard, butthurt fag, whatever makes you feel better about your lives. But back to the original point. Who is the worst role model? Miley Cyrus versus Taylor Swift. Fight. And the answer, both of them are equally shitty role models. But not for any of the reasons I've discussed. No, because they're celebrities. Modeling your life after them is fucking stupid. You won't be them, whether you emulate their behavior of dating a shitload of dudes, or showing your tits off whenever you can, or filming yourself with your friends holding a bunch of guns, or taking naked pics with a pig. You won't be them and achieve what they've achieved. And you have no idea what their real lives are like, because you only see what they want you to see. and of course, the odd thing or two they let slip. Miley shouldn't worry about being a good or bad role model, because the bigger question is, why are these people idolized in the first place? You're both shitty role models. The world needs another attention-starved pop singer like I need another hole in my dick.